Zemer here with MagnaWave for this Tuesday edition of MagnaWave Office Hours. Thank you for being with me this morning. We're glad you're here. We come to you every Tuesday morning as best we can to answer your questions, whatever they may be, with regard to MagnaWave, machines, training, illnesses, the whole 9 yards. And as you know, it's Tuesday, March the 17th, 2020. I'm saying that today because this is a big time with what's going on around the world with the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. I want to discuss that a little bit today, some precautions you can take and things that you can do. I'm sure you're getting a lot of that in various places, the television, your radio, the internet. Everybody's telling you what to do, certainly, and that's a good thing. And the more of those recommendations we can follow, the better off we are. It's interesting, there's an article in the Washington Post today that actually has some diagrams that show the spread. It shows when you limit access to something, how it's little dots moving around, bouncing off each other, and it starts out gray and it grows red as the virus spreads. And it shows how restricting activity slows down the movement, how social distancing, keeping things from touching as much, slows down the progression. And it's in the Washington Post. It's pretty interesting. I have the link. Maybe I can get it and put it up here in a minute for you to have a look at if you wanted to take a look. But it was quite interesting to see that. And of course, our medical director, Dr. Amanda Myers, wrote us an article, and we posted it on the practitioner page and the general MagnaWave page for people to read and understand how MagnaWave can enhance your body's function in dealing and fighting off these types of viruses that are out there, whether it's the coronavirus or the flu virus or anything, basically. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But so we're glad to be here. We're glad you're with us. The numbers are climbing, so we thank that very much. And for those of you on CastBox, if you'd like to ask a question, just type it in to your section there, and it will come up and we'll be able to answer that question. And for those of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, simply put your questions in the chat box, and we will be able to get them as well. Please share this broadcast with your friends, so that'll get the numbers up so more people can maybe learn about what we're talking about or what we're doing here at MagnaWave. If you'd like to talk with me live, simply send me a text. Text your name to 502-599-9722, and I will phone you back, and we can have a conversation about whatever it is that you'd like to talk about. 502-599-9722. Send me a text and I will call you right back. Emily Blankenship's with us on CastBox. Emily, good morning. And of course, we have folks with us on StreamYard. Kate Myers with us, Johnson's Edge Equine, Idle Hours with us, Felicia Carroll. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, just put them in there and I will certainly get to them. So as you are aware, let me tell George, I'm going to call him back. As you're aware, this certainly is a virus that has changed dramatically in the last week or two with regard to its spreading around the world and around the country. Of course, now much of the United States is on some type of lockdown. As you know, they've changed the Kentucky Derby to Labor Day weekend this year. They have the what was the not Rolex event, the 3-day event in Lexington has been postponed until next year, and certainly all kinds of things have happened. NASCAR canceled another 6 races today, stretching into June. Dr. Oz, whom we mentor with and meet with annually, put off his event from April until June. MagnaCon, as you know, is June 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's currently, everything's in place. We're moving along, hoping that everything will calm down by that time and we can have a great event. So with a lot of events that are moving to June and so forth, that's where we are with MagnaCon. And so we're looking for it to move forward in that situation. So if you have a chance, check out Dr. Amanda's article on our Facebook page or in the Certified Practitioners group. I believe that Chris is going to put the link in this in the thread here as well, so you can click right on it and go have a look at her article. And I want to talk about that a little bit. As you know, MagnaWave PEMF promotes good overall body wellness. For years, we've talked about viruses, that it really doesn't kill the virus or anything like that. It has a tendency to increase oxygenation to kill bacteria, illnesses and bacteria type situations within the body. But a virus, it just simply, what we've seen is helps it run its course more rapidly. And I'll go to this with Dr. Amanda here and let you see that. You won't be able to see it, but I can read it to you because I can see it on my screen. What the device does, it improves the homeostasis of the body. It improves the oxygenation. It allows the body to better fight off what's going on in the body with regard to this type situations. And she talks about it. It combats it to combat the virus itself, not by affecting the growth or the ability of the virus to live, but by altering some of the parts of the virus as it is replicating itself, making copies of itself. This creates a weakness in the virus, changing the levels of infection, which can allow the body have time to heal. So to use MagnaWave or this type of therapy to help the body be in better homeostasis, help the body, the blood cells, to be healthier and more able to fight off what's attacking them, is a good value for utilizing MagnaWave in your personal life or that of your clients and customers at this point in time. So it's always important to see what it can do and how it can be utilized. And she goes on to say that we recommend supporting the body with PEMF, which will help maintain the natural healthy environment with normally functioning cells. You know, as you become ill, and we've talked about this a lot when we deal with when we deal with these types of situations, is that you have this influx into your body, and as your blood gets dormant, it forms a rouleau, like a stack of quarters, and we want the blood to be free and moving through the body very smoothly. And that's the important thing when it comes time to fight these types of situations. So if you'd like to talk about that, put a question in the chat box, and I'd be happy to take a look at it, or send me a text and I will give you a call back at that point. Now, there are a couple other things that we can talk about to use in association with the MagnaWave. The HydroWave water certainly is going to help the oxygenation of the body and help the body be healthier as it fights off whatever may be going on. HydroWave can also be diluted to a point that can become a pretty good disinfectant spray. You could spray it on your hands. You could spray it lightly on your attachments. You could mist your face. If you're out in public, you could put a little mist of HydroWave on your face and it'll dry, but it does have that disinfecting ability. So there's a use there for HydroWave during this whole thing. I'm going to mix up a bottle this morning after the program and just be able to lightly spray my hands and do this very easily, because it's hard at this point to find other disinfectants on the shelves, as you know, in the grocery store and the pharmacies and so forth. So HydroWave can be very effective internally to help your body, and then MagnaWave to further enhance and strengthen your body, the homeostasis of your body, to better fight what you may come in contact with. That doesn't mean you can run out and act like there's nothing going on, but it just gives you a potential extra layer of protection, gives your body an extra layer of defense to remain healthy, stay healthy, and live a happier life. The other thing that we've seen a lot of good results with, myself personally, is the C60 that you could, in fact, my wife and I, Debbie and I, talked this morning before we came down that we need to double our intake of C60, which we take every day. We take it in the gel cap form, but we're going to double our level of that, just because it increases the telomeres. It allows the genetic aspect of the body to be healthier and stronger. And so we're going to do that as well with the HydroWave water. So there are some thoughts there, things that you can talk to your customers about, and that they might want to use HydroWave in their horses drinking water, or their dogs drinking water, or their drinking water, whatever it may be. And then again, the application as a topical for disinfecting purposes. So pretty cool stuff, and a lot of things that can go on. Some of you, I notice, are wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you very much. It is my birthday today. I don't want to talk about how many, but it starts with a 7 and ends with a 1. And but we're feeling pretty good, and thank you, and moving right along. But I am trying to be as cautious as I can to protect myself from what's going on and flying around. Flying around the world and the country and the neighborhoods at this point. Joanne Pelosi, thank you for the happy birthday. Maybe, Joanne, you can call in and we can, and if Sean's on, Sean could call and we could talk as well, or you could get on Castbox and all three of us could visit at that time. Chris, why don't you put the link to Castbox up if somebody wants to go that direction and talk and visit with us on Castbox. Maureen says she's going through a lot of HydroWave right now, and yep, I understand, and we're certainly increasing our dosage a little bit on our home front as we utilize MagnaWave as well. So again, if you have any questions, please, let's see, return, can't go, I got to see if there's any other comments. Tim, good morning, thank you. Happy birthday to your wife, Peg. Tim, I sent her a happy birthday. Castbox, oh yeah, Chris just put up the Castbox link. So that's what I wanted to talk about with regard to the machine and how it can promote overall health and wellness to the body. You know, things are, frankly, there's a lot of businesses that are being impacted by this coronavirus. I mean, can you imagine restaurants in Kentucky, for example? In Kentucky, restaurants are closed. They can only do carry out, and carry out is all they can do, or pick up, if you will. And that's devastating to the industry. And, you know, frankly, you know, I saw where, and this is not political, but I saw where a politician suggested that everyone in the country should get $1,000 to help them get through this whole thing. I sit back and I think about our practitioners. I think about people who are in the service industry, waiters, people who depend on tips for their livelihood, or for the restaurant industry, or for, again, our practitioners, for people to utilize their services. And all of a sudden people question that. If anybody needs the money, it's those people. It's people that day-to-day depend on day-to-day transactions that all of a sudden may go away. And so I commented to that politician. I sent a message, is I don't need $1,000. There are plenty of people that give somebody else my 1,000, maybe give them 2,000 or 3,000 if that's what the country's going to do. But we do need to try to support the best way we can, and to help everybody survive this type of situation. And for those of you who are practitioners and you are dealing with treating people and with treating animals, certainly we talked about the other day, I'm not in Louisville at this point, but we did talk about our clinic activities, how we need to approach that. And I think we're doing some rentals for people that come every day, so they don't have to get out. They don't have to come into our facility or any facility. They can have a machine at home. For those of you who are practitioners, you can pursue that as well. You can pursue, we'd be happy to help you with your customers that need things and want to have ways to take care of themselves. So these are questions that are gonna come up, and so we do have to have a look at that and how we go forward and make things better and healthier for all of us. Let's see. Felicia says USEF's canceled horse shows for at least 30 days. Revenue loss from not treating. Yes, obviously that's the case. This is a time for us to look at you promoting and us thinking about how we can help you promote or provide you with content that allows you to promote to people in your backyard who still need to keep their pets and their animals and themselves healthy at this point in time. And how, again, this article by Dr. Amanda, you can share that with folks as to, number one, it does offer the regular things to do, but it also talks about how good homeostasis and cellular health will help them fight this this thing as it's going around. Certainly older folks or folks with more years, again, mine with a 7 and a 1, need to be more careful than someone that's younger. But the young people need to understand that they can be carriers as well, and they got to protect what they do, not only for themselves, but the people that they come in contact as they go. Let's see here. Good morning from Wisconsin, I believe. Yes. And any other questions? AKC has canceled nationals. I normally massage down there, and agility trials are canceling left and right here. That is correct, but they'll still practice, they'll still work with their agility dogs at home, getting prepared for the next show. So you need to, that's how where communication in this whole process becomes a key to keep the doors open for you. It also gives you the opportunity to talk about C60 and MagnaWave, how people can use that. This is a time, if at all, that you work harder on your ancillary products that we have for you, and I know many of you have other ancillary products in your bag of tricks, if you will, or your bag of services that you can make available to your customers. And so it's always important to keep that level of education and level of involvement with your customers there, so they can understand what you have, and they'll take advantage of the products that you have available. And so, and again, we are actively thinking about ways that we can help supply you with the products and the support that you need to help you through this. I go back, it was amazing. I talked to Debbie yesterday. Let's see, Kate says she doesn't see the article in the group. Has it not been posted yet? That's a good question for Chris. He was telling me it was posted. Was it in the group or just on the corporate page, Chris? He says it's in the group, so I think that's what he said. So we'll check that. If it's not, we'll get it there right. I'll get to Maureen's question here in 1 second. So, but to take a look at what you've got to promote all of your things together. That's what I was going to say. I was talking about 2008, 2009, when we had the financial collapse and the recession. I frankly thought our business was over. We were working exclusively in the horse world at that point, and we were working almost exclusively outside of Churchill Downs and some of the racetracks around the country in performance horses. And so in many aspects, that's considered a luxury type of sport and situation. And we thought, we're done. I mean, number one, we're in a luxury sport, providing services to people who have to pay for it, no insurance, and we just knew we were scared to death that it was going to just eat our lunch. And what we did, and you can do the same thing as a practitioner today, is we didn't lower our prices, we just changed our pricing. Instead of charging $125 at that point for a horse, I went to where I was charging $45 to do the neck and shoulders, $45 to do the top line and hips of the horse, another $45 to do the back and the lower legs and the hocks and so forth. And so someone would look at me and say, do this, do the shoulders or the neck on this horse, do the top line and back on this horse, do the hips and legs on this horse. So I'd leave the barn in an hour or leave where I was or move on to another customer, and I still had my $125 for that hour, if you will, but I did not charge each one of those people, which would have taken me 3 hours or, almost 3 hours to treat those horses in that fashion. So I was able to be in and be out, make pricing more attractive to people. And in a time like this, you might want to think about, what can I do? Talking about, I'm going to treat your horse's feet. If you're jumping, or if you've got a quarter crack, or you've got this, we'll work this out and do this. Let me come treat 4 or 5 horses for you, but we're only going to spend this over here and this over here and this over there, but you're still accumulating your same basic dollar amount. So that's what we did in 2009, and it saved us. And because I was still doing a lot of work, but I was treating more horses, and I was finishing quicker on each horse. Certainly we wanted to do the whole horse because of the value and what happens when you do the whole animal, but we had to adjust in order to fit the fears of what was going on. What we learned, and there was a change, and I'm sure we'll see the same thing here potentially, because this is going to be devastating, or can be very struggling to a lot of folks in various levels of their competition or how they're participating in the sport. We did see about 30% of the business kind of go away. But the solid players, the solid people who enjoy what they're doing and stay with it, they stayed. They continued to go, and but they wanted to know that they were being as efficient as possible, that they weren't spending what they didn't need to spend. Now, again, that one was money. This is going to equate to money as well, because businesses are going to have things change overnight in many respects, and so they have to be able to. They still need to clean their restaurants. They still need to clean their businesses. They still need to take care of the pains in their shoulders, but they just want to know that they're being as efficient as possible. So let's keep that stuff in mind. You keep it in mind. We're going to continue to deepen how we help you with the marketing and content to give you the tools to step into that area. In many cases, it's an opportunity. Because some things are not controlled, but if you can give them a way to control this, if they can potentially save on some other bills and some other expenses by doing some of this with you, or by, if they want to purchase a machine, you help them do that because you get a fee for that. But yet that can keep everything moving and keep you in the business and doing your job. So if you have any questions on that, simply post them. If you have any questions you'd like to discuss, send me a text to 502-599-9722. I will call you back, and we can have a discussion about whatever it is you might like to talk about. Okay, so Kate tells me that the article is there. Thank you, Katie. I've seen many posts regarding cleaning our loops and disinfecting. What does your company recommend? And I got another question I need to go back up here that I'll get to. But we recommend, we've often recommended Clorox wipes, that type of thing to clean your loops. Again, you could take some MagnaWave and kind of mist it onto your loop, wipe it down, which is going to disinfect it and clean it at the same time. So we just recommend that you clean them. You can use soap and water if you're doing that. What occurred to me this morning when I first started selling a colloidal silver type of product, and years ago, what they were doing at some of the barns, because they'd come up and they'd dip the bit in the apparatus into the water to just kind of clean it off and make it good, and they'd kind of they couldn't put a strong disinfectant in there, but they were using colloidal silver at that time. And you could do the same thing. I thought this morning, you could take a small cooler, have a microfilament or microfiber rag, make a mixture of water and HydroWave in that cooler, have your rag in that cooler. So take the rag out, wipe your stuff down, put it back in the cooler, close the lid, and leave it for the next time, the next treatment of the day. That water with the silver and everything in there will stay clean, basically, and you can reuse that particular, or you can use a tissue or something each time. Dip it in, wipe it off, throw it away, take another kind of a shop rag type of thing, or a paper towel, dip it in, wipe off your loop, throw it away. So there's 2 or 3 different ways to do that, but you could utilize a little cooler that closes so it doesn't leak with HydroWave water in there as your cleaner disinfectant. If you want to throw a cap full of bleach in there, you could even do that, but I don't think that would be necessary with the silver that's in there, which serves as a disinfectant. So that's one of the things that you can do, and that's kind of what we recommend. I was asked the question, how much C60 do I take? We take the gel cap, and I'll give you both. When I was doing the droppers, which I still do, I have droppers at home. But when I do the dropper, I was doing the recommendation was to do 3 morning and 3 in the evening. And what I was doing was 5 or 6 in the morning and 5 in the evening. And my blood work has been good for a long time once I started doing that. With the gel caps, I take 5 in the morning and 5 in the evening. And to keep the C60 moving in that respect. With regard to the HydroWave, what we're doing and what Bill has recommended, one of the manufacturers of the product, is that what I do is I use the squeeze bottle, and I'll squeeze it up a ½ ounce, and then I'll put some water in. So I've got 1 ounce that I drink, and I simply take it out of the bottle. I fill it and I drink it that way. The little squeeze bottles that we have, or you could put it in a cup and do that and add a little water. I drink it and hold it in my mouth, kind of move it around for 30 seconds to a minute. And a couple of things happen. Number one, it has a good cleaning, disinfecting aspect on your mouth as you're going about your day in this type of environment. Secondly, it helps the absorption into the mucus tissues in your mouth and throat, and then you swallow. So that's my recommended thing with the with the HydroWave. You could do the same thing with the C60 if you're using the droplets. Or actually, you could do the same thing with the tablet. Is you could put the gel cap in your mouth, kind of chew it. It'll open and then keep it. Just let it under your tongue. Basically, a lot of people do that with CBD. They'll put the CBD under their tongue. They'll let it rest there for a minute or so, and then they'll go ahead and swallow, rinse, whatever they're doing to be comfortable. But those are some ways to get a better absorption into your body with those products. So that's some thoughts. Zach, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Let's see. Please talk about male urinary incontinence. I have been treating a man for several weeks, but not improving. Male incontinence is a little different than female incontinence because of the way the muscles contract and what they do. That's an interesting question. And what we don't know, for example, I've had some people, and I'm going to do a little comparison here, but I've had people contact me and talk about utilizing PEMF for their prostate and doing that, and because they're having urinary issues. Well, and then the more I talked to this person, the gentleman was saying, well, my prostate's not enlarged and I'm not having any infection, but I'm still having incontinence issues and struggling issues to urinate. And so the more we talked about it, it was an anatomical situation. The way his prostate and the way the body, the urethra were located, it was constricting without inflammation. And so that was the issue. And I've always said, if it's anatomical, if the body is something's pinching, restricting, doing something, we can make it maybe relieve the situation, but it's very difficult to change the situation. You know, the Seinfeld thing, you can take a reservation, but you don't have to keep the reservation. But at any rate, as you look at that, so that could very well be the situation with this person. There could be an anatomical thing going on, constricting his bladder or squeezing his bladder to where it tries to continually, you know, whatever the situation may be. And so while we can try to approach that, that needs to be known. So that would be my question. If they've been to a doctor, what has the doctor said? I mean, this gentleman that I was talking to, we talked, I don't know, probably over a couple hours, over 2 weeks before I finally got him to get to the situation where he said, well, yeah, it's really anatomical. It's the way my muscles contract and do this and do that. And I'm saying, I don't know if we're going to get you any relief. And that can be the situation here. But if it's a muscular deal, if it's the sphincter muscles or the control muscles of the bladder, if they're weakened and they need some extra strength or they need to be massaged, which is in fact what this does to help those muscles. That's what happens in female incontinence, is it helps massage the muscles in the area and help them be stronger, help them better do their job. So that's what we need to look at here. But it could also take time. If it's a nerve issue, for example, that's causing the situation. As I've said a million times, it's much more difficult to get the inflammation out of a nerve than it is to get the inflammation out of a muscle. And so if it's nerve related, constricting what's going on there or supplying pressure to what's going on with inflammation of a nerve, it could take weeks to get the inflammation out of the nerve so it will better be able to do, so the muscles can better do their jobs or the area will be less constricted. So that's the thing. I'd ask some additional questions of this gentleman to find out what's going on. We've had people who have bought machines for back pain or for this and that, and they call and they say, well, everything's going okay, but I'm just not sure how it's going. So they send the machine back. 2 weeks later, the phone rings, the guy calls back and says, hey, I'll tell you what, I was having incontinence issues. They went away. My back pain is anatomical. So yeah, you give me some relief, but it's not enough. But the incontinence issue, send me my machine back because it's really helped my incontinence. It's helped me sleep without having to get up in the middle of the night. And you need to analyze how much of what's going on. Some people will have an improvement. My pain level's at a 10 today, and with the MagnaWave or with some other kind of apparatus, I'm able to get it down to a 7. Can't get it to a 4, but I can get it to a 7. Well, is that good? In my world, if I got from a 10 to a 7, even if I couldn't go any further, that'd be better than a 10. I'd rather have 7 than a 10. So you need to analyze and have those discussions as deeply as you can. Let's see. I just sent my rental farm over looking forward to MagnaWave, specifically help my dog recover from a partial tear in her knee. What is your treatment recommendations for a partial tear dog's knee? We are not doing surgery, but we'll be considering physical therapy to help her recover. Well, and that's a great question and a great way to look at it, Katie. And what you have to do there, and what you want the tear to do, is heal. And is it a complete tear or a partial tear? That's the next part of the question. But simply by continually treating the area, you're going to make the body be able to better heal itself, to allow things to function in a more orderly manner. I can tell you, when I had a partial tear of my MCL, it took, the doc felt it's going to take 6 months for me to recover. It took about 3. And because I use the machine continually, when we deal with dogs with cruciate ligament issues or with hip dysplasia issues, those types of things, to readily treat and treat often in the beginning keeps those from getting worse, and in many cases helps them to somewhat reverse. So my recommendation would be to treat, since you're going to have the dog in a cheer machine, I would treat the dog twice a day for 10 or 15 minutes. And I would do that every day, and I just get on that regimen and go. Somewhere along the line, after 2 or 3 weeks, you want to stop and you want to see how it holds. That's what we had when we were doing dysplasia. We got our dog, it probably took 30 days of treatments pretty regularly, and then we stopped, and the dog was good until he'd chase a rabbit, or until he'd do something, until she would do something to cause it to re-inflame or to become separated a little more in that type of environment. And so then we would go back, treat her for 2 or 3 days, bingo, she was good again. So you may very well find yourself in that type of routine. But if we want to heal it, that'd be my recommendation when you get your machine. Twice a day, 10 or 15 minutes on the area. And of course, you want to try to limit for the first few days. I don't want to say carry the dog in and out or anything like that, but you just want the dog not chasing rabbits or whatever they do for first few days, to give the treatment a chance to get ahead of what's going on, to get ahead of what they're struggling with. 502-599-9722. Let me have a look here. I haven't looked. There might be someone that's called in. Nope, no messages. But that's okay. Good morning, Alex. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling, I think if I remember correctly, you had a little bit of an issue. Hope you're feeling better and things are going well. Let's see, any other questions? Nothing. I've got several people with us this morning on Castbox, which is great, and appreciate that. Do you know Python? Sashi asks. I don't know Python. Hey, dude, do you know Python? I don't know. But at any rate, question, put it in there. Gloria asked, how much is this? Well, Gloria, specifically, if you're talking about PEMF MagnaWave machines, we have machines. We have the smallest machine, the lowest power machine, about 500 Gauss that it delivers, which, by the way, is about 15 times stronger than most of the other low power devices on the market that deliver only 35 to 50 Gauss per treatment. Our lowest powered machine delivers 500 Gauss in the treatment regimen, and they start at around $4,000. We have machines for $7,000, $8,000, up to they go to 12, 15, 17, up to about $22,000, $24,000, I believe it is, or $25,000 now for the new dual machines from California, and a little less than that for other dual devices. But so that's the kind of the price range as to what is available with these types of devices. And Gloria, on our website, MagnaWavePEMF.com, all the prices are there. You can click through and it'll give you the pricing as you're going through. There's a quiz that you can take and it'll kind of match you with a machine. So we don't feel that someone needs to spend $25,000 when a $5,000 or $6,000 machine will do the job for them perfectly well. And so it's just a matter of how you're using it. if you're treating athletes, or if you're an athlete, a professional athlete of some sort, or you prepare like a professional athlete, you might want a more versatile, stronger device so you can get more punch out of it right now when you need it. When you're doing 200-pound weights or you're running 10 miles, you need something a little differently than somebody who's a little more sedentary, not quite as active at my age or whatever, and you get some back pain and you want to have a little relief. Bingo, you can get something else to do it. Or as I use, as I've shared many times, I had a prostate issue 4 years ago now. I guess I'm 4.5 years almost. And so I treat myself daily for my prostate. Everything has been in good shape, no issues. And I come from a family that everyone has had prostate surgery, prostate cancer. And I just keep treating myself to stay on my MagnaWave, and away I go. And so that's how I approach that, and the successes that I have found. And so again, there's several people with us on Castbox, which is exciting. And our numbers here are looking real nice this morning on the MagnaWave Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I haven't seen the LinkedIn numbers. It's new that this whole process with LinkedIn doing live streaming is new, so we're not really sure how many people it's available to them on that space, but it is there. And we certainly are happy that it's there. Let's see, about 2 minutes. Oh, someone was asking, Jeff, thank you for putting it that way. When the lady asked, how much is this? Talking from a practitioner standpoint, as Jeff just pointed out, a lot of practitioners charge $1.50, $2 a minute. So you can do 10 or 15 minutes, not spend a lot of money, and get your elbow or your back or whatever it is taken care of. Some people charge by the session. In our clinic, we have session charges and then a monthly service for people that they can purchase a month's worth of treatments and come almost as often as they need to get ahead of their situation, and then do more. So there are several ways. If you're listening and you want to know about that, you can go to the website, upper right-hand corner, click Find a Practitioner. It will match you with someone that's close to you, that's in your area. So you can go try this out, have a treatment, or they can come to you and provide the services as well. Let's see, Brittany asks, can you discuss the best way for a practitioner to determine their price list for human, pets, horses, and livestock? Is it best to charge mileage and figures it into your set price? Great question. Some people, and you need to look at that. Some people do, if they're going over a certain amount of miles, charge a $25, $35, $40 mileage fee. People in the animal world, particularly the horse world, are pretty accustomed to that, so they would understand that. And then you have your normal fee as well. Something that I would do in that situation, if you're talking to somebody and you're going, do they know somebody else? Can they refer? So it makes it easier for you to go to treat 2 or 3 horses or 2 or 3 different locations as opposed to just one. And to give them a break, if they help you do that, is certainly a good way to do it. But as I was saying, in our practice, in our clinic, we have a set fee, $50, I believe it is, for a treatment. Or if you have a situation, $195, you can come as much as you want through the month. Now, people get frightened of that. They say, oh my gosh, they're going to come 2 times a day and they're going to come for 30 days. No, what happens is somebody will come probably 4, 5, 6 days in a row potentially to get their back or their body or their knee, whatever it is, feeling better. Then they come twice a week, then they come once a week, and next thing you know, they've averaged out 2 treatments a week over the 4 weeks, or 3 treatments a week over the 4 weeks, but not 30 treatments. And so it's a savings for them, and it's a guarantee for you, and it works out very handily. Other people do charge by the minute, whether they're charged $2 a minute. So someone comes for 10 minutes on their elbow, for example, it's $20, and they're in and they're out. Or you're to them, and you can do it in that fashion, so they can see, well, I can treat my whole body for $50, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here. Now we're at $60, and I've treated everything. And so those are the ways to do it. That's what I would recommend as a way to look at it. It's pretty simple. And again, that if you go back to if you were with me earlier when I was talking about what we did in 2008 is something that maybe people want to look at today. In 2009 to 2019, 2020 is the aspect of breaking a treatment up. I've had a lot of people, a lot of golfers over the years who have a bad shoulder or their hip bothers them, and they'll come in and treat themselves for 10 minutes before they go play golf. Or they'll play golf today, they'll come by tomorrow and get their back treated, and they're good to go and feel all right for the rest of the week or whatever they're doing. So it's all over the board, but you just want something that's comfortable. And certainly distance is an issue, and you got to take care of your fuel if you are traveling a distance. So it would be normal to charge a fee for that. Let's see. Besides partial knee tear, Frank also has a full tear in her knee, who does need surgery. When I had my MCL problem, I tried to go to my doctor. He was on vacation, and I didn't want to go to the emergency room because that turns into a whole system of things, as you're aware. So I just continued to treat myself for 2 weeks, twice a day until I came home. He looked at it, examined it, said, yes, you've had a tear, but it's healing nicely. Go on about it, just stay after it. If I would have I've had people who have had surgery and they've treated themselves to make their pain less up to the surgery, and then a couple of days after the surgery, knee replacement or knee surgery to help an ACL tear or something, or a tear, the healing is faster. The pain is left afterwards. So that's the way I would approach it: is treat up to, and then certainly immediately as soon as the bleeding or whatever is in control after the surgery, begin the treatments regularly after that to take away the inflammation, relieve the pain, and speed the recovery time that you might experience as a result of that. My large dog made a full recovery from a CCL tear 6 years ago with MagnaWave, and we've had that many, many times to where we're able to improve the healing process. We've noticed that we have an old Charisse, and she is now 4 years old, and I use a pad. I use the B2 machine overnight when I sleep, and Debbie said to me the other day, have you noticed that once in a while Tootsie will migrate and lay on that mat and sleep there between our legs or on the side or whatever? She'll go there. They know. That's the neat thing. Animals know what they like and what's going to help them. We push ourselves, or we forget, or we think I don't have the time to do that. And even though she's still young, she is little, and she's very fidgety. She's a very timid dog, and so she gets frightened, and so I'm sure she has some stress. But all of a sudden, she migrates right over, lays on that mat, and I guess sleeps better, seems to be. But do you ever see success with more serious conditions like contractures of the legs due to knee surgeries? Melinda, most certainly. We've had countless people with issues in their legs following surgery or prior to surgery get some relief. And it's kind of going back to what we were talking about with the viruses that are going around. If your body is healthy, if your cells are healthy and can better do their job, if they got good oxygen, they'll help take away inflammation. If you have got good blood flow, you'll help the body through its healing process. So most certainly, it doesn't make any difference. And we get that a lot. People will say, well, what about this situation in a dog? When we talk about it helping a knee in a person, we're the same. We all have blood. We all have blood cells. We all have muscle tissue, and so it's the same. If you can make the blood flow good in a human, you can make the blood flow good in an animal, and so forth. And again, good cellular health, good blood flow promotes better body healing, promotes speedier recovery from anything, whether it's a virus or a broken bone. The more healthy we can make the body be, the more healthy the body is going to respond in a healthy manner to what is going on. And that's what we ultimately want, is to get through something more smoothly, get through, and just thinking about that with the coronavirus and people, they having congestion in their lungs, they're having difficulty breathing, they're having all these kind of things. Treat the chest. Get good Good blood flow through the chest, help the chest remain open, help the fluids move from the chest into the lymphatic system and away from the body. There's just little things like that that can be very beneficial to what someone is experiencing and what's going on. But we need to think through them and throw them all out on the table as we're discussing these particular aspects of our fantastic therapy that we've come to love and grow with. So any other questions? Is there a program, let's see here, is there a program practitioners can utilize to help build their business through social media and a web page? Most certainly. We have products that we're doing. We are developing new content. If you take a look at our page, our Facebook page, and the content that's there, you can use that content. You can use those ideas to promote your business through your page. And I'm remiss that I've been using LinkedIn more and more for my personal social media, and there are some tricks, and I need to, Chris, hold me to this. I need to get deeper into that and to share the little things that I'm doing, that I'm finding that I can do because I write books now, and I'm working to promote us in a different area with some medical aspects and things like that. And so how I can use LinkedIn to get contacts. Just think about this for a minute. In Facebook, it's very difficult to search for people in your neighborhood. It's very difficult to target your ads for people in your demographic geography. However, if you went to LinkedIn and you looked for, let's talk about horses for a second, horse people, and you find out that there's this professional and that professional that like horses and they're into horses, and you strike up a conversation with that person, or you reach out to that person and you tell them what you're doing, they may not be your customer. They may not be your customer at all, but they like horses, or they like agility dogs, or they like they're into the show pig world just because it's a hobby. Those people in your neighborhood that you can strike up a conversation with can help you spread the word about your business in your community. They can tell people to go to your Facebook page or come to your LinkedIn page and learn and see what you're doing and that type of thing. So you have that real ability through LinkedIn to connect directly with people in your city, in your some radius around where you are, that are interested in what you're doing. And if you just get one or two of those people talking about what you're doing, it can help you when you meet other people in your area to build your business and strengthen what you're doing. That's a tip for today, but that's really very simple. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you might want to explore that, to be there to enhance what you're doing. I noticed there was someone asked a question in the corporate area, I believe it was, or maybe it was a certified page this morning. I was kind of going over it, talking about how to build their business. I've got a website, I'm on Facebook, and I'm offering a few free treatments, and I'm doing this. And my two aspects would be, when I started, almost everything was free. Let me show you how you feel better. Let me make your horse feel better. Let me do this. And I was, I thought, am I ever going to make any money doing this? But the more free I gave away, the more money came back in return, because it worked. I had to know when to stop, because there were people that would let me treat their horses for free forever. So I had to know when to stop and how to approach it. But I did a lot of free. So this person today said, I've got a web page, I've got a Facebook page, I'm trying to do some of these ads, and I've given away a few free treatments and whatever. Biggest area, few free treatments. They did not mention LinkedIn. We don't think about LinkedIn as being a place to make personal contact with people. For example, I went into LinkedIn, I found this person that was an executive vice president of some bank in New York that likes horses. And I'm thinking, But the more I talked with them, they knew a doctor over here who did plastic surgery. And so they got me in contact with the plastic surgeon who could potentially use our type of device in their practice for scarring and healing and so forth. So even though the person that I connected with, because they happened to like what I was doing or talking about, gave me an open door in another direction. Now, you have your friends on Facebook, but a lot of times you need your friends. You want to work on your friends and lean on your friends on Facebook, but it's that person that you connect with that's going to talk about you. They always say in the sales world, if you want to sell something, you do sell somebody, you ask them for 3 referrals. Give me 3 people that I can call, or you may even reach out to them and say that you like what I'm doing and I'm going to call them. And the joke always in the background is because we only have 3 friends, 3 real friends. But the real story there is you ask someone for a referral or ask someone if they know who else can use your services. But to find new people on Facebook is difficult. To find new people on LinkedIn and even some of Instagram. If you do the right kind of pictures and do some stuff, you can pick up some new people in that. So to do the whole thing, and we are daily trying to research and understand what we can do to help you as a practitioner better understand your marketplace and better reach out to your marketplace. But believe me, it's not easy, and it's not going to fall into your lap. You have to work it. I did free treatments after free treatment. I traveled everywhere, but it worked. And that's the thing you have to remember. It works. And so if you expose it, it will pay you back as you go on down the road and building your business. But Brittany, to better specify, you can call the office. Chris is available. We can talk with you, give you some idea for content. There are some programs available, and we are working to develop programs. We're doing a lot of research. We're actually spending dollars. There are things that Elaine will do. If you say this or do that, or you put up a post, she'll boost it for you and do that. I think she does boost the posts every day for people who prepare a certain kind of copy and so on and so forth. So we're trying to do as much as we can do to help you because we want you to be successful. If you're successful, we're going to be successful. And we can be as successful if we want, but if you can't be successful, then we're not going to be very successful. So we've got to work this and got to help you down those roads as we go forward. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. It's fun, and I look forward to having a good, but here we are. Things are limited where you can go, what you can do. A lot of the St. Patty's Day celebrations are not being held this year. It's funny. My brother, who lives in Evansville, Indiana, always used to take his birthday off on my birthday so he could spend St. Patrick's Day partying the way a lot of people do on St. Patrick's Day, particularly those of us who it is their birthday. But so anyway, I called him last night to ask him how things were going in his life, and his wife is not well and how things are going. He said, well, I can't. He said, I said, well, I wish you could come over. I wish you could be with us. And he said, great, I wish I could too. I thought he knew that I was not at home, that I was working in Florida right now. Of course, that's all changed because the horse shows have been canceled and things are not going on as they were. But I thought he knew where I was. And so all of a sudden, a half hour later, phone rings, he picks it up. He said, by God, I'm coming. I'm packing the car. I'm coming. I'm going to be there tomorrow. And I said, Ed, it's a 16-hour drive, man. We're in Florida. Oh, man. He was upset. Although, you never know. He might show up later on today. He's been known to do that as well. So can pregnant practitioners still work their machines on others? Katie, there have been people to do that. Some people have found a way. They've gotten even a very thin lead type of vest, like some X-ray people wear, that type of thing. We certainly we always err on the side of protection, and so we don't want, because doctors contradict everything when it comes to pregnancy and what is utilized. And one way to approach that would be to show your practitioner how to use it and be there with them and directing them on what they're doing, and let someone else do it. You just stand back a few feet. And you just don't want to put the coil on you. We don't need to be moving what's in your body at this stage of the development of the fetus and the baby, that type of thing. So could you hold the coil up here and do this? I'm going to tell you the doctors are going to say no, and we don't recommend that you do it. But can you stand here and tell me how to? We did this no one was pregnant, but I was in Oklahoma several years ago, and what I call veterinary police came in looking for people who were doing things without licenses and so forth, and they were after us because of what we were doing. And he said, you cannot touch that horse. That person who's the groom for this or an employee of this particular horse owner can touch that horse. And so what we did at that point is we just simply gave the groom the coil and said, do this, move it here, hold it just like this, leave it here for this amount of time, and basically directed them in the process of what they were doing. So that's the way to potentially approach that as you're working your business if you're with child and you're doing MagnaWave. Great question. Tim, thank you. We will be safe and we're going to have as great day as possible. And enjoy it as we can. Okay, we're about out of time. It's been great. A lot of folks have been with us on Castbox. Thank you so much for joining us on Castbox. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, thank you so much. We'll be back next week again and to visit with you to answer your questions that you may have. If you have questions about what we were discussing today, please call the office 833-MagnaWave and talk with Aaron and Teresa in training and education. Talk with Chris in the marketing area if he can give you some insights on where to go and what to do. We have a full art department. We have a full video department to help you with the needs that you're looking for. And if you have other questions, certainly I'm available. Lane's available. Any of our sales associates are available. Or our product specialists are available to answer the questions that you may have. Or, and this is one other thing before I say bye. When you're building your business and you're talking to customers and they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, call us. We'll have somebody answer the question for you in front of your speaker, in front of your customer on speakerphone or something. We want to help you. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's worth a try. Or we'll call the person back for you and talk to them with you. And because that other person's always an expert. When they may not think you're an expert, they think I'm an expert, and I may not be an expert, but they'll think that somebody else is the expert. So let's work together and lean on each other. Can't touch. We can kind of lean, whatever, in spirit and help move things along. So, hey, have a great day. Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm going to change my shirt, get into my green garb here a little bit, and try to have a nice birthday. Thank you so much for being with me. We'll see you next week. Wave on to better health and have a great one. Bye-bye.